We're about 50% complete on the demolition works. Decontamination is pretty much complete, apart from some asbestos material, which we are still continuing to remove. And the gaps are significant, pretty much from east to west, from north to south. We've got line of sight from one side of the refinery right the way through to the other. When I bring people onto site who haven't been here for maybe just a matter of weeks, when I take them onto the site and they look at it and just see the amount of work and structures that are no longer there, they just look and say, this is really cool. And that's often words that they use.
It's the largest demolition project in the Southern Hemisphere. As part of this project, we have a number of demolition methods that we use across the site. We have a mixture of mechanical demolition using machines and induced collapse methods where we weaken the structure and then either pull it over or allow gravity to do its job for us. We have some of the highest reach equipment in Australia. They can only get to 44 metres, so we're having to look at other methods. It's a complex structure, which means that we can't pull it over using cables. So instead we're looking at explosive demolition, where we remove the legs out from underneath the structure and allow it to fall.
The blast activities were very important. They were very large, complex structures which we couldn't bring down safely with our high-reach machines.
I think having two blasts occurring in close succession does make things a little bit more complex, in the sense that there's a large planning activity that needs to happen up front of the engineering. And we have some fantastic people working in our team with a lot of experience in this sort of work.
Every building's different. These are quite tall. The second blast event, those ones are quite chunky, so a bit more engineering goes in that to make sure it stays up while we're cutting in underneath and for it to come over successfully.
Since we awarded the contract to Liberty, that partnership has grown. We see them as a contracting partner, not just a contractor. So it's a massive project for these guys, and it's a massive learning curve for us as well. We want to continue that relationship going forward.
The job's a success. It just shows it's a great team effort. So with Liberty and Rio together, it takes a lot of work from everybody from the ground up to get us to this point. And if it's on the ground and everyone's safe, that's a success.
Once the structure comes to ground, it'll all be sheared up into smaller pieces by Liberty's mechanical demolition equipment. That material will be processed down into small sizes. We'll segregate the SMF and other waste from the recyclable materials, and then that recyclable materials will be put onto the stockpile and sent overseas for recycling.
Our original estimate was just under 150,000 tonne of scrap steel that would be generated from this demolition project. We believe that that estimate will go up, maybe by about 10%.
Fund 5 is on track to complete the majority of the work this year. The opening of the 3 spillways, which will allow the discharge of the clean water out into the bay, and the capping of the top surface to ensure we don't have any caustic contamination. I've been on this project from day one. Where we're standing now, when I first turned up, was a red mud contaminated caustic area. And it's really rewarding to see it turn back into more of a natural state with grass growing on the cap surface. Recently we had a crew here doing a training video. It's really good to see some of our learnings that we've encountered along the way being distributed to the wider business and hopefully other closure projects around the world.
It has been a positive journey with the traditional owners. We've worked with them from day one. We've worked with them in terms of the native seeds that are going into the topsoil. When we leave here, that process still has to continue.
One of the earliest initiatives that was undertaken in town is to work with the traditional owners to formally define their vision for the future. And what they've told us is that they want the town of Nhulunbuy to remain, and they want it to remain as a viable and vibrant services hub that provides some services to all of the northeast Arnhem Land region. The solar farms that are being constructed will form part of that future energy grid. That was probably the most enjoyable part of the journey in making sure that they would have an opportunity to be involved in energy security post-mining.